Okay, we're ready to roll.
Right then, everybody, we'll start the meeting.
Yes.
Welcome to the Australian Numismatic Society's March meeting. It's we're going to hold it here at the Naval Numismatics because we're going to have a preview of the upcoming auction. Our meeting is 1218. We have apologies from David Mead, Barry Towers, Robert Tonner, Joe Tatling, Ron Bolden, Murray Brad and Ian Seisman. Do you any other apologies? Other than what's in the book?
Colin and Sandy
Colin
Pitchfork.
Pitchfork.
Okay.
Colin Pitchfork and Sandy Pitchfork.
Oh, yeah, put them in here.
Right, we'll go into general business first up. Our next meeting is at Philas House on the 12th of April. But it will be at 8 p.m. as normal. Right, so we won't be doing a 7:30 start. The topic is gold.
Oh,
Gold coins.
Oh, yeah. Gold coins, gold bullion, gold.
Nuggets.
Yeah, if you've got gold nuggets, bring them in. Numismatically.
Oh, that's a little bit of gold dust.
Okay, yeah. So let's have a look at what we can do in the way of gold. Auction number 43 closes after the meeting. So when's it started?
Started.
Yeah.
So it finishes tonight. I don't think it just started, is it? Does it finish tonight? Does it?
No,
No,
next week.
next month.
Next month. Sorry, next month.
Oh, because that's the way it's worded.
We're
It's like
talking
it
about
finishes this one.
our April 12th meeting now.
Oh, okay.
Right, and the topic next month is gold. We're going to hold it at Philas House at 8 p.m. on the 12th of April, and auction number 43 closes at the end of that meeting.
Oh, that's not how I read it.
So we have had the meeting so far, sorry, the auction so far in the past month. It generally goes for 2 months.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
We want to remind everybody that the ANS conference is at Coffs Harbour on the 12th and 13th of June. Right, so we're still hopeful that it's all going to go ahead.
We'll discuss it
At the April meeting,
at the April meeting because by the April meeting we have to find out how many are going and if it's worth holding a conference.
Got enough so far?
So far, everyone, I've got over 15 so far, so yes. So if everyone who said they're going are still going, we should be okay.
right.
But, be nice, but who knows?
Is there any other general business?
One thing, I got an email late this afternoon from Trevor Wilkin. He's in hospital at Herondale at Chatswood for 2 weeks and getting physiotherapy something once a day. But anyway, he hasn't been travelling. He hasn't recovered from something, so he hasn't been travelling too well. But you know Trevor Wilkin, don't you? I've been his
Oh, yeah, that's
president.
right. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you mean, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No.
He was saying he had very little strength, that he didn't have any energy at all. He's had sort of radiation treatment and what next, and it's knocked him about a bit. So. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good while ago. But anyway,
That's two or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
what, the radiation treatment?
I'm not sure, but
No,
when
he had
I
that
emailed
age.
him about two
Ages.
or 3 weeks ago, I had a phone call from Peter Kraft, who was really worried about Trev. And I said, well, best thing is get in touch with Tony James, because Tony would know what's going on. But I emailed Trevor, and we were talking because he said, if you need a hand or anything, let me know.
No, he's a good guy.
Okay. All right, any other general business? Well, one little bit of general business I'd like to tell everybody was that it was my birthday yesterday.
So what?
Anyway.
Is it a number to forget?
50 again?
They all.
He's still got his hair, so he must be fairly
I'm in that
young.
age bracket where I'm allowed to retire. The trouble is I can't afford to. So there you go. But yeah, no. All right. So there's no other general business. We'll
Hand over to Jim.
find Jim and give him invite him to give us his talk on the marketplace as well as his upcoming auction.
Thank you, John. Hi, everyone. We have the catalogue out. It got picked up by Australia Post on Thursday. So the sale starts 2 weeks from tomorrow, on the 23rd of
Yeah, 23rd of March.
March.
Yeah.
So the viewing starts Wednesday next week on the 17th. So you've got time to come and view earlier. I can help you. But it's 3,300 and something lots. Over at the State Library again, two full days, and a third day which is 3 sessions. I've done it in the old format, 5 sessions each day, starting at 9:30, so it's the old form, and we've put fewer lots in each session so we can give more time to those people who like to sit at home, drinking gin and tonic, as Jonathan says, waiting to press the button, and we have to wait on the bid. So it'll hopefully be a little bit slower and easier for people online to bid. But then, the auctioneer will be taking all the bids off the floor, and hopefully the floor bidders will be successful. There's a wide range of material. I've got catalogues here to hand out if anyone would like one who hasn't got one. Somebody's arrived. Frank, is it?
2 seats in the
Hi,
front.
William.
Evening all.
Evening. We've just started.
We're going to prohibit red lights.
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
think we've actually got everyone.
That's okay. We've only just started. We haven't missed anything yet.
Now you better just signed in.
Yes, that's right.
Bit too slow.
It's good to see you turn up, for this popular presentation.
Thanks for what you
I
did.
remember when more used to come and we didn't have enough chairs and how to set it up. So you're a dwindling mob, like it's a trouble with us all getting older, and are any young people coming in?
No, we're maturing.
They're all on the internet, aren't they? Doing things that way. All right, well look, without any further ado, I've explained that the auction's 3 days, 3,300 lots, and it's got a wide range of material, including 9 David Boyd paintings. This lovely painting by Ian Hansen of the good ship Marco Polo, which used to sail to Australia with immigrants. At one time 900 came on it, and it used to take back £100,000 worth of gold each visit, or more, in gold coin or gold ingots. Incredible story behind that ship. So he's painted it a few times. A great marine artist. He lives in Hunters Hill, and he was born in 1948. And one of my clients, who was a coin man, he died and his widow wants me to sell it, so it's got pride of place there. And I've got one person who's interested in it at least. But the David Boyds are very, very interesting, and they're popular at the moment. And the rest of them are out the back if anyone wants to see them. We've also got jewellery. We've got a 3.5 carat diamond from the 1940s, nice old cut. And we've got a rhinoceros horn, which was a trophy acquired by a man who founded a gold mine near Bathurst, and he sold it in 1916 and went travelling. At the end of his trip he went to Africa and went big game hunting, and he shot this rhinoceros and maintained the horn, and it's been held in the family ever since, along with his gun and a few other things, and it's being sold by his great grandson. It's had the requisite government requirements done with it. It's been aged, and if anybody wants to export it, they've got to get they can get a certificate. But we've found that an interesting thing to add to what we sell. And then we get back to coins. We've got a lot of Mark's tokens in this sale, a specialised collection of Ceylon and South Africa, huge collection of South African tokens. You think we have a lot of tokens and check pieces, they have a lot too. So that's a comprehensive collection, and it's evokes some interest from numismatists in South Africa. They've made inquiries about a couple of them so they can get pictures of them.
Those Bill Myra medals, society medals or what next, had Mark acquired them from Bill?
No, they're
They're separate,
there's more of Bill's estate coming onto the market, and I'll talk about a couple of them.
Right, because we were discussing it in the car, and we thought, Les thought that Mark might have purchased some stuff from Bill.
No. They've been in our safe for some time, and I just had to make room for other things, and they had to come out. I promised Finn that I'd do it, and I've still got other things to do in the front room, but this is in the safe at home, had this stuff. And my wife was running out of room for her jewellery. We couldn't find anything. This stupid Chinese bowl which I put in the sale, I got from Spinks. And
Do you have a catalogue for Frank?
yeah, sure.
No,
I'll give you one. I've got one here, haven't I?
having said that,
It's got a box load of them there.
Anyone else want one?
Peter want one? Yeah, Peter would like one as well for his gym.
All right. So there's one there. Good.
Thanks.
They are good.
So the auction's got, probably I thought the end of Mark Friel's, and then we discovered amongst his stock and things that we had in one of the rooms here, and we're moving things around to make room for some dealer's gone out of business and wants me to sell all his stuff, so he's brought cartons and cartons of things out to make room. And what did we find? A box of Indian tokens. I knew we always had Indian tokens, but I couldn't find them. Now I found them, I've got to put them in the next sale. I'm cataloguing them now, I'll catalogue some tonight. It's quite a complicated series and quite interesting when you get into it. But so there'll be more of Mark's tokens in the next sale, and whatever else we find, of course. The world coins, there's some interesting ones. We'll come to them as I go through. I've tried to pick a few highlights, but it's the usual format for the sale. And on the first day, at 2:30, we're selling the miscellaneous stuff, the paintings and jewellery and that sort of thing, at 2:30. That's, people should remember the time. And there was a little mistake in the contents. We forgot to change the Friday back to Thursday in one entry, so the war medal collectors, if they look quickly and say, oh, it's on Friday, they turn up here, I'll be in trouble. It's on Thursday at 2:30. It does have the right date, 25th of March, but
Wrong day.
the day didn't get changed. Prior to that, it's got the 2 morning sessions for Thursday, the 25th. So, look, these things happen when you're producing it in a hurry to get it out. I'm glad I got it out in time. I mean, I'm hearing about people getting it in the country now and hopefully interstate, and if they can get it overseas, or to the good, because we spend a lot sending it out. It costs about as much to post it as it does to print it. Ridiculous now these days. Because you've got to send it express post. It won't get there otherwise, it'll take too long. People get too tired. I mean, Australia Post are doing a great job. I must say, they're doing a good job with deliveries here, and we're quite happy with the service. But we have to bring it in here from the printer, pack it, and they come and pick it up. And it all got done on Thursday. Okay, market-wise, the gold price is down, so that's the usual form for me. I put an auction on, do all the estimates, and the bloody gold price goes down, doesn't it? Fucks up all your estimates. People, they want to buy things for metal value, they don't want to buy it for numismatic value. They should be paying a lot more for some of these metals that are in the sale. Anyway, without any further ado, I'll get on to the start. Give Rodney the first item, which is lot 52. This is in the mistrike section. And you might say, why is he showing us a 1919 penny? Well, that's because it's a full reverse brockage. So that's
I had a look at that one and I thought, I can't afford it.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Talk to me later.
I couldn't afford it at estimate, let alone what it's going to go for.
That's encouraging me.
Rod, could you just kick the TV around a bit? There's a lot of people here.
There? There?
You guys, so you're happy.
Is that better?
Yeah, you can see it better now.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know if Rodney can, it's hard to get the copper up bright enough. They suddenly look a little bit like some of the catalogues I see printed.
No, it's a pretty good image coming on the TV.
Ah, good. Yeah.
Good image of my thumb too.
Oh, that's all right.
It's always satisfying to get an auction up and done I've got a lot of work to do yet still, and then after you sell it all, you've got to send out invoices. Never stops. So that's a beauty that very rarely. This is a very good misstrike of a 1921 halfpenny. I mean, how incredible is that? I have sold it before. It's been resurrected by the collector who bought it. It's rather pleasing.
At least the full date's there for you to identify.
Yeah, exactly. It's got nice condition too.
Is that 50?
I mean,
21.
21, George V, 1921 halfpenny.
The lot number is 53.
Lot number's 53.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Lot 53, so it's 52 and 53.
Yeah, 44.
I've got a list of the lots here I'm showing, if you need it.
Oh, good. You can get a photocopy of it later.
Yeah, I'll borrow a copy and I'll write it all up in minutes.
Lot 67 is a double struck. That's how misstruck it is, a double struck 50 cents. Now these came to me from a gentleman in the country who seemed to have misstruck coin from about 1975, 76. Only a handful, but mainly copper 2 cents and 1 cent, but 2 cents and 1 cent blank. This is a beauty. I thought double strike like that. How rare is that?
He didn't work at the mint, did he?
I have no idea. He's a JP. I know that. It's a pretty rare breed now. But he'd be pretty elderly, I'd say. They just turned up in the mail. But the spectacular one is this next lot, lot 68, which is a full reverse brockage of a 50 cents. And what's happened is the coins got jammed inside another coin. They've got jammed the two blanks together. So on this side here, you've got the brockage part. And that's been imparted with this coin here, which on the other side has got a very high rim. It's been sunk into there. So there are three blanks. Incredible. You know, when I looked at it, I suddenly worked it all out, that they come together. So I've never seen anything like it before. Usually these things break apart.
They must put them in their shoes or something. Yeah, now they mean.
Well, I don't know,
That condition, you wouldn't roll one of those, would you?
1975,
Oh, there's somebody else, John.
John Manukas.
So it's 15.
You'll have to stand, John.
It looked like you were right.
Do you have a catalogue?
Not yet.
Would you like one?
I would.
Okay, I'll get you one.
I'll show you this one.
No, I've got one out here.
Did you bring another
I
one?
asked Bob to get them out.
Bring another one.
We're just looking at a 50 cent brockage.
Oh, that's a damaged one.
Well, they worth more.
Sell it cheap.
That's becoming late. I got a box on
It's
that.
good enough.
68.
It's got the information, that's what counts.
Yeah. A miscut page or something. So isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Has anyone ever seen anything like that?
Nope. New to me.
That's what I thought. Now,
What year is it? Is it
1970, 76, I think. 76. So it's not one of these mint sports that
76.
since coins have been expensive. It's pretty early in the piece. I don't know how he got it. He possibly was very lucky. Knew someone in what he got at exchange. But this is an interesting penny that was in an older state. There was nothing much in it. The chap came to the counter and I scratched through. And then he had to go back and talk to the family. And then he submitted the coins. But this was the little finding there, so that's a good little coin. An 1827 penny, I said, they were all sent to Tasmania, Van Diemen's Land.
It's nice condition.
And it's not worn. I said, that is unusual, because they're usually worn out and corroded. But this is in good condition. It has been cleaned long ago, but it's not worn. Very rare coin. In mint condition, there were thousands. Anyway, I've got it in for a few $100, so that's one of the English coins in the sale. In the second session, we've got the English.
It's a nice coin.
Worth getting.
Yep.
In the evening, there's the British gold, or late afternoon, I think. It's lot 715. It's a gold noble of Edward III, from David Warland's collection with his little ticket there. David Warland's still going strong. even though he's got mesothelioma. Loves his coins, promising to come up before the auction. He's an expert on watches, so he'll rib me about how badly described they all are. John O'Connor did it. He keeps saying it, it's not a half under. What? Anyway, it's a long story. I was being frustrated lately because I haven't had any German New Guinea. Well, one estate I've been handling, the lady brought in some more, and it was a set of German New Guinea, 5 mark down to 1 pfennig, and this is the 5 mark. Very nice condition.
We have an ANS Queensland collector who collects German New Guinea, and he lives in New Guinea some part of the year. So,
Okay.
so
Well, that's a lovely example. And the 2 marks very nice, and the 1 mark. But I just thought I'd show you the big crown size one. I think I've got 2,000 on it.
nice condition too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one I think I might have handled many years ago. I think Dave Allen might have sold it to the chap. This is 1856 Sydney Mint Sovereign, the first type. Estimate 4,000.
That stopped it, didn't it? No, not really.
It's nice quality. Again, it's a deceased estate. And we brought it in.
Nice.
This 1856 is not bad. It's only 2,500 estimate. It's graded as very fine, I think, or good very fine. And here's George from Whoop Whoop. Pulowski. We've got a chair for you. G'day, George.
Hey, George.
I've got a chair for you.
Yeah, I'll go down and get one, Jim.
Right.
Pass this one over to George.
Thank you, John. See, it's popular, this talk now. I'll have to charge.
We're only here for the supper.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
So, there are the usual run of Australian Commonwealth coins and other Australian gold coins, but not as many as we've had in the last couple of auctions. But this penny's interesting. I got a bunch of bulk pennies from a girl whose husband's father had died, and he'd collected a few coins, and he had them in bags. They were marked 1931, so I decided to start looking at them. Will I look at these? And I said, I better look, in case there's an Indian die. Well, lo and behold, there was about 12 1931 drop ones, and one of them was an Indian die, which is rarer than a 30 penny. So they didn't know they had one. I told them about it when they came in to see me about something. They've got a couple of bits of silver and junk in the sale, and this will be exciting for them. I put an estimate of 500 on it. It's a little bit knocked around, but it's not a bad example. An unknown coin, a discovery coin, see? You've got to expect it sometime, I guess, something to turn up that no one knew about. So that's the end of the first day. Always a tough day, trying to sell expensive gold. Then we go into the next day and we go into world coins. And this is a sample of the British North Borneo tokens, plantation tokens and March collection. They're all made with beautiful mint condition things. The Southeast Asian buyers love these things. I think that's a set that I owned once. Mark bought quite a few out of my auction in 1999, sale 61. I'm showing you these because it's something you don't always see. These are samples of his Ceylon tokens, and The Ceylon token series is interesting because it's for coffee plantations. You get all sorts of different denominations. This is lot 1226 for tokens, and I'll just explain to you a little bit about it. There's, the first two are very crude, and they come from Dick Ford's collection, so they're probably next to unique, practically. And the Darley Butler and Company ones with the sun face on them, dated 1860, issued in Colombo, they reflect the different values you got for performing a task. The big one is for 9p, and the smaller one is for 4.5p. It's not stated on it, but that's how Pridmore attributed them, which would be for 4.5p for a half bag of clean coffee. So each time they brought in a bag, they'd get rewarded with a token, which they could redeem, I guess, spend. So this series, Mark's series of Ceylon tokens is virtually complete. He had a fantastic collection of Ceylon coins, so this goes hand in hand with it. I had a good collection, but he had a more extensive collection because he was very, very keen on it. There's some very crude things, but in manufacture, but these are a couple of nice ones, and they're estate tokens of P. Fernando. They're coffee pickers' chits, issued prior to 1869 and struck in England. So the ones in England usually are better struck, and the locally made ones are crude. And these are for 4.5p and 2.25p. And they're from the Ford collection. Mark's bought them out of the Ford collection, which is a sale I went to in Singapore. Way back. I've got my Mark catalogue. I found it recently, thank goodness. In trying to clear up some space. The next one is another interesting example of the different denominations that are used. This is lot 1231, and they're estate tokens from Jayatilalika, JPJ Colombo, 19 cents, struck in England in 1876. The value of half a bag of, she's got clear coffee, it's clean coffee. See, my writing's so scrappy the typists get misled. And I didn't see that one. There's another one for 18 cents. So you get different values, which are quite extraordinary. I don't think you'll ever see them in any other series. There's sort of different values they have on these. 1361, the next one I'm showing you, and that's up here in the Indian series. Mark's Indian was sold in the last sale, the late British India, but this is a princely state with Queen Victoria for a quarter anna from Dewa state, JB, which stands for Junior Branch of the Dewa state. Quite nice condition, estimate's $150. The next one is the princely state of Dhar, D-H-A-R, and it's a 1/12 anna and a half pice, and they're in nice condition, bit of mint bloom on them. The two of them estimated at $200. There are a few other Indian coins in the sale.
A twelfth of an anna, okay.
Even a few tokens which were separate from his Indian token collection, which he had organised in a little spink box. Then we go on to a place called North Africa, and Egypt in particular.
Half picey, okay.
So for the Egypt series, I thought I'd show you the Suez Canal tokens of
Lesseps,
Borrell, Laverley and Company in 1865 in brass. The little ones are quite available, but the big one, the 1 franc, there is a larger denomination of 5 francs, which is very expensive. Even mine sold in 1999 for thousands. But the 1 franc is quite attractive and it's worth some money. And these 3 came from the Dick Ford collection, which was a Spink London sale, 88. So, you know, if you want something interesting from Egypt, Suez Canal, they opened the Suez Canal then.
Were you and Mark competing for all these earlier on, were you?
Well, yeah, he actually, I was collecting world tokens, and when I sold my collection, he zeroed in on my South African because he knew it was important. He already had good Ceylon. I had good Ceylon, but he had very good Ceylon. But the South Africa is the next country we come to in my presentation here, and the coins precede the tokens. And I want to show you this lovely double shaft crown of 5 shillings of Paul Kruger, ZAR. It's a beauty. It's the best one I've seen. I've got an estimate of 3,000. It's catalogued very high. It's one of those typical coins where somebody's probably dipped it without affecting it. And if it was toned, you wouldn't see anything but lovely mint bloom. Be interesting to see how it'd slab up, whether they'd say cleaned or whether they'd say MS65. It's the best one I've seen. It's a ripper for a double shaft. There is also a good single shaft. There are 6 crowns there, and the guy who collected them, Johnny Miller, we sold another 6 or 8 for him before, so he must have had about 15 of them. Fascinating coin in that condition. So then this. I didn't get you any South African? I did. They're in bags, the South African tokens. I didn't show you a medal, which I'll show later, the bag lot. Now, the first South African token is one that's like a proof, and it's still on the old Noble collection card, so we left it that way. So it's in a plastic bag lot rather than you didn't muck around changing it. It's photographed in the catalogue and it's on the front cover.
White and pearl.
Yeah, very lovely condition. That's lot number 1472. And it's dated 1861. It was struck by W.J. Taylor in London. Lot 1472. But the card, of course, has the old Noble collection number. The next one is lot 1505, and it is one for Durban in South Africa, and there are 2 tokens in the lot. They're from Blackwood Cooper and Company in 1861, a shilling and a 3p. So that sale was in 1999, it's now 2021, so we're talking about 22 years ago. It's amazing how time gets by, doesn't it? How long can one keep this up for? Well, till I drop, I suppose.
Yep.
There's more work here than I can live for, so what do?
You
Bulk it up and sell it cheap.
No? You train Simon even better.
Yeah, he's cataloguing world banknotes. He's doing a good job. He's getting on with it. We've got a lot of world banknotes. Boy, have we.
And you have to remind him when you're not around that he has to come and show us the auction stuff.
That's right. Well, he went home early tonight. He escaped. Yeah. No, he'd be delighted to do that, I'm sure.
Next auction.
Now, the next one is another one from Durban. It's for the Durban Club in 1860. 6p. I mean, South African numismatics are a little bit similar to Australia and New Zealand. You know, it's a big. The Union of South Africa was a big Commonwealth country, and they had their early history with tokens and populations scattered around for different industries. So it's interesting to to collect these series. I've obviously got to attract South Africans. There's a lot of South Africans living in Australia, so we might get some interested. If we don't, I'll be very worried. 1517 is the last one, and it's what I called a classic of the series. There's 4 tokens from Bloemfontein issued by Daniel and Hyman in 1867. There's a beautiful set of 4. Now, as a complete set, it's extremely rare, and this came from Dick Ford's collection. I had the pleasure of buying Dick Ford's collection almost entirely from Spinks, because it wasn't. He had a fantastic South African collection, proofs and patterns like you wouldn't believe, but his tokens were very, very good. And then I got them, and my tokens were really very, very good. Now Mark's got even better. He's not with us now, but he's certainly been a great quiet collector, and he believed in things, and he's organised everything in little envelopes. And now I know where all my old Spink envelopes went. Yeah, he's got those brown sandwich bags. You just got to be careful with everything, because usually written on it, whether it's collection or stock. You just got to be so careful and working it out. But I feel like he's lived the way I have a bit, and I've lived the way he has, so we understand it. So it's been a pleasure doing that. It's not very economic, but the people in South Africa said, they're beautifully laid out. And there's, to end all the South African tokens, there's one lot on an album which Mick Andrews collected. And some of you remember Mick Andrews. He was a collector in Sydney, but he went to live in Queensland. He loved Africa, and he collected a great collection of South African tokens, and they're going up in one lot. Mark bought it at our sale, 110 or something, I think, in 2014, and it's going up again. 241 tokens in one album. So it's lot 1535. I'm not showing it to you, but you can look it up in the catalogue. Now I'll go back to that thing I wanted to show you. The reason it's in a plastic bag is it's a medal, just of interest to Les. There's a lot of medals I should show you. I should show you Bill's Paul Simon Award and that sort of thing that's in here. There's some great historical medals of Australia in here. This one was done at the University of Western Australia. It's in 9-carat gold, silver lined surround mount by Levinson and Sons. Leaving certificate examinations 1939, medal for English awarded to Barbara June Atwell. An original jeweller's box, extremely fine and very rare. Well, there it is, it's in its original box. And they've got the name of the jeweller, and that's the medal. And the lady supplied me with some information. She's got the Chinese chess set in there because her great-grandparents lived in Singapore for a while in the late 19th century. So there's an umbrella stand and a Chinese chess set in ivory that's in the sale. And Ronald Sherman Thompson married Barbara June Atwell. And she talks about her dad because he was in charge of the Lithgow Small Arms Factory, and he was involved in the one in Footscray. And he also played cricket, and he's got cricket bats, and we've got them out the back in the sale, and they're original paper wrappers from World War II. And he played with Sam Loxton. So a bit of interest in the cricket stuff. This particular medal, she said from the University of Western Australia, was Mum's. She told me that the metal to make the medals was not available due to World War II, so the medal arrived after the war had finished. So that's like after 1945, and she won it in 1939. It's an interesting story, just behind a medal. If people give you the information, I've got attachments here, so I'm supplying that information for interested buyers. People bring you things, and sometimes they just bring you everything but the kitchen sink. And this lady did. Drove up from Canberra. Incredible. Going back to the coins now. we got up to? What was that? We're getting to the gold, aren't we? Yes.
1505.
Yeah, we've got to look at now. We've done the South African coin, so now we go to the world gold. And from a collector, I've got some very nice French hammered gold. This first one, I thought David Mee would be here, so I put him out for you.
Oh, well,
David, you'll watch it on
the
YouTube.
video.
Yes. Hello, David. Don't forget to bid on them.
I'm sure you can see them online too.
Charles VI is known, column catalogue these is known as the well-loved or the mad. So you can take your pick. 1380 to 1422. This is an EQ of the Corone or Crown. It's a nice coin, estimated at 2,000. Lot 1624.
No, 1623. This one.
Ah, I've got you the wrong one. I've got 1624 here. The description I just gave you was for 1624. The coin you're looking at is 1623.
Yep.
And 1623 was a Charles V gold francopoeide. I don't know what that means. PIED. Does anyone know their French? Gold franc of the foot, is it?
David was here, he'd tell us.
And it's expensive. It's 3,000. This one's 2,000.
That one's got a figure image and this one's got a crown.
Yeah. Yeah, the king standing there. And this chap's quite elderly. He's in his mid-80s. He collected these. He's got to give me more yet later in the year. But he's got in this collection a half EQ d'or of the Soleil, or half gold and half shield in the sun. Collins typed. It's Toulouse Mint, Francis I. It's an extremely rare coin. Only 6 are known. It's estimated at 8,000. It comes from the collection of Franz Ernst von Salm-Rashfeld, 1698 to 1770, Bishop of Tournai, to the collection of Abbot George Dufour, Curé of the parish of St Piat in Tournai, died 1939. By descent acquired by grandfather, died 1949. By succession then to the current collector's grandmother, Maria Coppenol, the frame died 1990. Lot includes 3-page description of the coin and 5 coloured photographs with enlargements, etc. So very interesting, with a catalogue from a dealer who sold one. So there's a rarity in the sale, and I put it on the feature page. Hopefully people won't miss it. Another lovely, attractive gold coin. And this is, I remember selling this one before. It's a beautiful piece. It's a lot 1666, and it's a coin of the Netherlands, Holland province, 14 gulden of 1751. It's got red patination highlights, Colin says. Good, extremely fine.
You need this, John, for your collection. Your Netherlands collection.
Yeah.
Run past the dollars and then you get it.
Well, it's only $1,200.
There you go.
I mean, that is just nothing.
Yeah, it's a bit above bullion.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You don't expect to buy 18th century gold coins for bullion. Anyway, lot 1706 is the start of the World Historical Medals of Ceylon. It's a few lots in. There's 2 medals here, just to give you a sample of Mark's collection of Ceylon medals, which is very good. He's bought a couple that I bought from him at the Ford sale in Singapore, and I can't find them yet. But they are large, so they're probably located somewhere else. Probably couldn't fit them in the box. So all these things worry me until I work it out. Some of these lots have got 50 pieces, 40 pieces, 20, there are thousands of items in the sale. And none of you will come and look at them, I know. I know what you like.
I'll look at them.
Oh yeah, you will. You'll be forced to hand them over. So they're attractive enough, interesting subjects. Because the rubber was a big thing in Ceylon. You've got that tree there.
Yeah.
That's for the Ceylon Rubber Exhibition of 1906. I mean, you know, there's no money. That's 300 for the two medals.
Where would they have been struck?
Probably in England. The
You can
first one's by
see where they've tapped the tree
Spink
too.
London.
Yeah.
See that famous firm?
You see the tapping on the slits on the
Yeah,
tree where
yeah.
the rubber tappers have cut for gather the latex.
That's one for you to buy. You like exotic Africa, so I brought you out the Zanzibar medal. What a beauty. The Zanzibar exhibition in 1905. There's one danger for you. There's a bloke called Clemson who likes these sort of things. He's doing his work out there while we're working here. He's working on photographing things people are making inquiries about. We get so many inquiries once the catalogue goes online. Can we have a photograph of this? Can you photograph the edge of this? You know, so many inquiries. And we just work at it constantly till the auction. We don't necessarily answer all of them, but we try. So that's what Bob
$5 a
did.
copy.
Hmm?
$5 a photo.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are used to seeing everything online. And some firms do that actually. And of course, if you don't have a high standard in photography, you can just use your phone. Get into the computer and you can produce images. And a lot of them want to see what's not illustrated. Now another medal here is one from India. Now I picked this one out, it's lot 1731. Yep, there it is. I'll look it up, 1731. The Indian medal series is extensive, what he's got. This is the Agricultural and Horticultural Society of India, struck by the Calcutta Mint. It's quite early, it started in 1824. Interesting scene of a plough and going there with one of their Brahman bulls. So they were working the Brahman bulls and, you know, they worshipped them, didn't they? They still do. You can imagine Mark getting exciting about these medals and the old colonial scenes and things. The next one is interesting for those of you who know Byram. It's the Zoroastrian.
Do you know there's a toilet down here? You got a toilet?
Yes, take him through, someone. Rodney, you just wave it at the door and he can go into the disabled.
Right.
Just there's the little box there. Just put it in front of the little box. Yeah. Yeah, George has travelled probably for 2 hours to get here.
It's probably been an hour or so on the train, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
or more.
He lives right out west, doesn't he?
He lives in Woy Woy now.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. Not so bad. Still, it's an hour and a half, isn't it? So this medal here is the Zoroastrian Girls' School, Sunday School, Bengali, 1893 in silver by Alan Wyon and the Bombay Mint. Fascinating looking piece. And that, I take it, is a Zoroastrian. They're a special, and Byram who helps at the viewing, and that is from that ilk. So the Indian medals are very extensive and very interesting. Here's a nice medal of the Malaya and the Strait settlements. There are little scene ports in there, Singapore.
Agricultural show, Strait settlements and Federation Malay states.
Yeah. So it's an early version than the later ones of Malaya. I'll show you the banknotes later because it'll be easy for Rodney to deal with them in one go because they're on cards, large cards. And we'll move on to the ancient coins. And the first one I'm going to show you is one from Italy, Lucania, a silver nomos, that it's now called. We used to call it a stater. It's that type which has got the incus reverse, like a brockage almost. Attractive old cabinet toning, nearly extremely fine and rare. It's from a C&G auction 109. Estimate's 3,000. Nice condition. Got the tags there with it.
We've got the C&B.
Sybaris, yeah. I don't know your French, but I say Sybaris, maybe it is Sybaris. Then there's a coin from Sicily, a Gela, which shows the man-headed bull. Tetradrachm, estimate's $4,000. Colin's done a big write-up about it there in the footnote. So Colin's been busily cataloguing a lot of ancient coins for the sale and some Indian coins. And
Can you let the boys in?
yeah. Thank you.
I don't recognise the person though, do you?
Oh, thanks.
It's not quite like yours, Ross.
So it's a lovely example. I was once in correspondence with the man who wrote the standard reference on the coins of Gela, G.K. Jenkins. Back in the early 70s, can you believe? I've been very delinquent, I've neglected everything else but coins. 2562. That's the Punic Tetradrachm. Nice relief, nice coin, estimate 8,000. And it came originally out of a Glendinning sale in 1955, the Lockett collection.
So are these from a local
Yes,
collector?
yep. I've got nothing from overseas collectors in the way of ancient coins. In fact, I don't think I've got anything from overseas this time. It's that bloody virus, see? Last sale I had an interesting internment camp note. A family recipient sent to me from New York. I thought I'd put this Lysimachus one out, 2592. It's a tetradrachm of Pergamon mint, the K mark under the neck. Nice style, high relief. Comes from a Dixon, Noonan and Webb sale in 1998 for estimates 2,000. It's quite dark, isn't it? Some of these coins have many hundreds of years to tone. I prefer them toned than freshly washed or dipped out of a hoard. This is a great gold coin here, 2831. I mean, there are a lot of interesting coins in the ancient coins in this sale. Now, this one's from Mysia in Cyzicus, 550 to 500 BC Electrum Stater, and it's got the Sphinx crouching to the left, and below is a tunny fish. So that's your basic design, and the reverse is just the quadrupite incus punch mark. And this is estimated at 4,500. And it's got tags with it. It comes from a Nomos sale, and it goes back to a European collection in the 1920s and a Neville auction by Jacob Hirsch in 1925. Sold for 1,100 Swiss francs then. So it's a great coin, great acquisition opportunity for people. There's a Bactrian gold coin of Diodotus II, 256 to 239 BC. This is lot 2835. The gold stater now. It's in lovely condition, except it's got a little test mark to the top of the head, because all of those found in the hoard had these test marks. The bankers at that time were just testing them to make sure the gold's right. Coins would turn up in far-flung places. There's quite a good write-up about it there. It's estimated 8,000. The piece de resistance of the ancient gold, though, goes to this lovely, still set in a Carthage Culopunic gold trihemistator. This is actually a gold one. Last time we had a electrum one. This is a lovely coin, estimated at 40,000, wasn't it? That's the lot number. Lot 2836. It probably comes from the Tunis hoard of 1948, where most of the known examples appeared from. You know, there's such rare coins before that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Very nice.
It can go in your collection, wouldn't it?
It could.
There's a...
I've got lottery tickets for Tuesday and Thursday,
good,
so
good.
maybe.
Someone's got to win it. Here's a nice Marcus Aurelius Gold Aureus Roman Emperor. That's estimated at 11,000 lots of 2843. It shows Roma standing left holding victory in the right hand. The Romans had a great technique in producing good gold coins. That was 2843. This next one is well, I'm out of order, I'll go back. I'll take that back. I'll put this one there. This is a Byzantine gold coin. There's quite a good collection of Byzantine gold in the sale. And this is lot 2870, which is the rarest one. It's a gold solidus of Anastasius II. It's been slabbed by the American grading services. It's from a heritage auction, and it's estimated at 5,000. So it's very rare. It's way up in price compared to the others that are around 1,000 to 2,000 each, the earlier ones.
What grade do they put on?
They put a grade of, with strike of 4/S.
They said it's a mid-state.
Surface 3S, I think it means 5. Yeah, 5, I think. Yeah, it's interesting how you can do that. This one here is Nicephorus I, later 802 to 811. The other one was from 713. Now we go to a Roman silver coin of Augustus. Nice condition. Has a bull standing to the right on the reverse. A bare head of Augustus to the right. Issued at Pergamon Mint in 27 BC, so it's an early issue of Augustus. He was the first of the imperial emperors. One of the 4 emperors in 68 AD was Galba. We have a nice Denarius of Galba coming up. Lot 2927. I didn't pick out too many of the bronzes, but there is one that's quite attractive, and it's of Commodus, the Cistercius. You know, business has been very quiet across the counter. I don't know why. It's dead, really. I spend money across the counter, but I never receive any.
Oh well, as long as the auctions do well.
Well, the auctions, you know, without the auctions you've got nothing, have you? It's crazy. Okay, that's the end of the plan, so we'll go to the notes now. We've got one of the world notes. I thought I'd pick out, it's always very attractive. One of the Indian chiefs from America.
Well, that's
Nice $5. It's a rare piece. Silver certificate. Wouldn't you like that in your collection? You can have it for $2,000. There are a lot of portrait notes of Queen Elizabeth from the 1980s, 90s. Some other good world notes. A lot of them are illustrated, very colourful. That silver certificate was issued in the series of 1899. If you want to go further back, do you, Robert? Difficult, isn't it? I've made life difficult for you, putting these big things out.
Just fits in.
The next one's even bigger.
You can see it in the reflection.
We didn't get a big collection of Australian banknotes, as we often do.
Is that 2?
3.6. I'll give you the list, so you're going to be checking it. You've got the catalogue. This one, there's some interesting early private bank issues with, there's a couple of promissory notes, and then there's some interesting share certificates. The first one I'm showing is the Treasury bill of the Deputy Commissary General's office in Sydney in 1817, and it's signed by Lachlan Macquarie. So that is very good. This was on offer by Mark Duff at 40,000 at Strand Coins. We had it in the last sale at 20,000. I've talked to the estate, and now it's in at 8,000. So now's the time to buy it. A very historic document. There are only one or two others out there. I think there's only one other out there. Wonderful thing to get. Historical document. This one here is a share certificate, which I find fascinating because it's one of the directors who signed it at the bottom was James Norton. And in the last auction we sold his collection of medals that were presented to him in a special album of British battles. Do you remember it? It was in the historical medal section. It was a beautiful full-page spread. The book, gilt lettering awarded to James Norton. Norton Street in Leichhardt's named after, among other things.
Bank of New South Wales.
So that's a Bank of New South Wales share certificate, very early period, 1824. There's
Number
an earlier
113, yeah.
There is an earlier one dated 1820 in the sale, but I thought I'd show this one because of the James Norton thing. The interesting piece in the sale is from Bill Meyer. Always told me this is a treasure, and you know, you've got to do a big write-up on it and everything. Well, he's gone now, Bill, so you can't argue with me now, Bill. I put it up. And we're protecting it, but it opens up, as it shows in the catalogue. There are 3 pages. This is the notary's exact copy of the share certificate number 3
It's
for the Bank of Van Diemen's Land, lot 2274. And it was for, he paid, I think it was 200 Spanish dollars. 200 Spanish dollars it's worded in. And 1824. And he owned a pub. The retired Thomas Maguire soldier. So he had the money. And this, Roger McNeice tells me, is unique. This share certificate. Founding document of the bank, really. And Roger's doing a story on the Bank of Van Diemen's Land, so he's going to try and get the government down there to buy it. I said, well, it's for sale, there's no reserve, you know. It's 3,000 estimate. Bill thought it was worth thousands. Relax, Bill.
oh, well, you'll see what it goes for.
Yeah. I've got a private collector who I was trying to get. He's a good, loyal Tasmanian. I said, you should buy this. It takes 2, doesn't it?
It helps.
So that's that. Now, the next one I've brought to show you is at the end of the series of private notes. We have a whaling advance note from Hobart in 1867. And these were issued to help the whalers who went away. It was to help the spouses they left behind have money to exist. The payment in advance for work they're about to do. Whaling. So that's why it's called an advance note. And we've had it before. It was in our sale 65 and sale 87. It's estimated at 1,500. Very historical. The next item is a very important cheque, which we handled in sale number 1. Cheque number 1 issued from the Commonwealth Bank of Australia from Sydney in 20th of January 1913 to pay Melbourne, and it was signed by H.T. Armitage, who became Governor of the Commonwealth Bank in 1941 to 1948. The signature on our banknote issues.
Yeah.
I remember selling it initially to a lady who then gave it back to me, and we sold it again in sale 75. So it's a great item. The bank has refused to buy it up to this point, but they might change their mind. You never know. I've actually valued some things for the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, would you believe? They had some thing they buried under a building, and they had a very nice example of a 1922 Melbourne sovereign, very valuable sovereign, and a few other coins. They've got them in a special room. They weren't interested in selling them, but they know where I am. So that's a chance for you to own something unique. And that, gentlemen, oh no, I've got war medals. What am I doing? Yes, yes. That's another feature of our sale. At the last session, after the Ancients, we come to Australian singles. There's some QSAs and other things, and Emden, Sydney Emden, a Bartol and Colleone medal, and there's a polar medal for a man who went with Mawson, George V, 1930-31, George J. Rhodes. Estimate's 3,000. Nice polar medal, they're quite rare. I've only got 3 war medal lots. You'll be able to get a cup of tea soon. Now, this one is very interesting. Turned up from somebody in Tasmania. We asked them for provenance. They said they got it in some garage type sale, you know, type of thing. But it's actually a medal, the Tasmanian Meritorious Service Medal, which was reckoned not to have ever been issued, according to the records. But there it is, and impress naming and all. So it's the only one known. It's got the Tasmanian Meritorious Service Medal and then the Commonwealth of Australia Long Service and Good Employment Medal, both with the 7th portrait. 3211. And it's got a couple of the badges, the King's Crown Gilt Arm Badge with backing plate and Armour Sergeant brass badge with backing plate, so the things that he had in his uniform. And last but not least, we have some medals from the Zulu Wars in South Africa, the South African medal 1877 to 79. We have one with the class 77, 78, 79. Awarded to a gentleman who was one of the 150 defenders at Rorke's Drift, where more Victoria Crosses were awarded for one battle than any other battle in history. It's a great rarity. It was bought by the gentleman from Stanley Gibbons when they were dealing in London in medals a few decades ago, and he paid £38,000.
Do you have the name of the recipient?
Yeah, the recipient on it is Lance Sergeant J. Key, 2nd 24th Foot. John Key,
Right.
he was tested at Secunderabad, India.
So what's the estimate now?
80,000. It's illustrated on the back cover of the catalogue.
Where's that come from locally?
Yep. The gentleman has a South African connection. He's South African. English, so I think he acquired it over there in England.
Do you expect it to be sold to someone overseas?
Oh, you could buy it, Rich. You've done crazier things. Come on.
Okay.
Look, probably. If it's not wanted, it's not wanted. What can you do?
Yeah.
You can't put it up for $5,000. It's got to be realistic.
Save your money for Charles VC.
The VC that I sold, gentlemen, for $36,000 to a man called Gorman who was in the Crimean War, we got $36,000 at auction. Stuart Wright bought it, and then he traded it to a couple of twins who were collectors for $50,000. They held on to it for a while. It's a British VC really, but he lived in Australia, so you could look at it as Australian. One of the earliest VCs. And it went recently in London, late Warwick Carey's collection, £297,000.
Wow. Wow.
So you can buy bargains at Noble Sales, you just got to hang on long enough.
You're saying Warwick Carey's passed away?
Yeah, he died last year during the COVID crisis, so there's very few at the funeral. He was friends with John Burridge, who's an agent for Dixon and Webb, and Dixon and Webb auctioned the medals last year. You know, there's a possibility that we'll get the badges to sell. We had a complete collection of Australian badges. So I look forward to that, more hard work, more photographs. Anyway, it's all good, isn't it? Yeah. My pleasure. When I got Rodney's email, oh, bloody hell, that meeting's coming up, we're having it. Oh, I've been get organised.
I'm glad you get my emails.
Well, Nikki tells me.
Yeah, Nikki sends replies and sends you apologies.
Is there any other questions that we have for Jim? Everybody's clear on the date of the auction? It's across the road.
Just before Easter, 26th.
Very good.
When's Easter?
On the second,
Second of
second of
April.
April.
Okay, yeah, so we've got to try and get the invoices out and get action, get money in.
Have you introduced pay later yet?
No.
That new scheme?
No, would they put the money up,
Oh, for sure.
the organisation, would they? All right, fair enough.
Thanks very much, Jim, for
Yeah,
that
good.
informative discussion on all the auction lots that you're going to be auctioning on the 23rd. Is there another certificate of appreciation for you?
Thank you very much. I enjoy having these in my collection. I've got them wedged in between other books in my office.
You almost have enough for wallpaper now, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm going to get you a photocopy of this, Rodney.
nothing else to do. We'll just close the meeting. We're having refreshments now, so Tony will ask for cups of tea. and
Queensland have made a medal, which you can see on the screen now, for their 700th meeting. It's an engraved penny. I did send emails to everyone, so if you wanted one, I think Jerry Doyle in Queensland still has one or two left, but not many. Jerry sent that one for you and said you can send him the money.
You can have a clear of this.
Thank you.
This Sunday at the church at Carlingford,
One big question I want to ask you.
11 o'clock.
Stick your hands up if you want coffee. Right. One's your hand up, Jim, or
No, I had a coffee earlier, and if I have one now, I'll never
Hand
sleep.
not up?
4, 5, 6, 7.
Too late.
All the rest of teas, are they?
Yeah, me too.
Right.